Hi, my name is Stephanie Ulven. I'm an abstract artist from Iowa. Art is something I've always been very drawn to, whether it was creating things in the grove on the farm where I grew up with just literally like sticks and grass. And then as I got older, I loved to do all different kinds of things with whatever art supplies were available, a lot of times to my mother's chagrin. I have an auntie who's an artist. I was always in my grandparents' house. Her art was everywhere. And she's very, very big into doing animals. So beautifully, so magnificently. Always enamored by, again, like the tactileness of the canvases and the things that she would do. And sometimes she would paint horses and they would be a different color than like a traditional horse. And I would think, I like that she didn't make those horses the color that they should be. I would go home and then I would try to recreate Auntie Marla's paintings just at home with like crayons or something. It never turned out. Auntie Marla was my first person to inspire me for sure. My process of creating is kind of all over the place, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times I get an idea to start something and then I'll get stuck and then I'll start something else and then I'll be like, and go back to the other piece that I've started. And so I've got partial pieces kind of all over the place. It's just what brings me back to it. Most of the time, like when people come to my house and they walk in and they see the art, most people are drawn to want to touch it. I really like to mix acrylic and oil paint together when I'm using a mixed medium, like if it's sand or glass bubbles or different things like that. I like the different texture that it creates when you mix the two with another like solid medium. Then it gets really like gritty and textury and raised and bumpy and you just want to touch it. And I love that. I know most artists are like, don't touch my work. I am a touch it. I want you to feel it. As an energy healer, I put energy into my pieces. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are so drawn to it. It's not just the tactileness of it, but the energy it gives off too. More than just the invitation to see it with your eyes, but if people want to touch it, I want them to touch it. I want them to take their fingertips and if there's a part that they're like, ooh, what does that feel like? I want them to go ahead and touch it. I want it to be a sensory experience for people. I want them to enjoy everything about it that they want to or feel compelled to. The other thing, all of my pieces have a bio. I know for me, like studying art theory over the years, and whether it was junior high, high school, college, whatever it was, or even just buying books to read on my favorite artists, when you read about where an artist was at the time that they created something, you look at it so different. The person who's creating something, I feel that a part of them needs to be in it, not just what you see, but to understand. For me, when I create something, there's a reason for it. I'm at a stage in my life. Stages in lives are essentially births and deaths, right? So you finish a phase of life and this part of you is done and then you're moving on to another one and each experience adds to that, right? So like, why did I make this piece? What was so in me that I wanted to create that? And I want to go back and look because, the older we get, the more the memory gets a little shoddy. So yeah. So it's more than one reason. Number one, my daughter. It's very important for me as a parent in today's society. Everything is online and the lack of 3D living. So for her being a neuro, everything for her is sensory. When I had packed up all my paint supplies before she was born, because I was like, I'm gonna have a baby and I need to just put things away and not have things out. And after she was born and saw how tactile she was with sensory stuff, it immediately pulled everything back out. She was sitting in her high chair and I'd given her raspberries for the first time. She would take the raspberries and she'd put a raspberry in each one of her fingers, like it was a little like mushroom cap on the tips of each one of her fingers. And she would do that and then she would take her hands and she would just squeeze all of the raspberries until they were just essentially almost like a paint. And then she would just draw with it on the tray of her high chair. And after she did, I was like, well, you're a painter. Like, it's time. We're gonna break these things out. And then it was making things that were, we would do pudding art and we would do all of the different things with her. And then as she got older, all the different art supplies and then everything started coming back out. I think that everyone needs an outlet of expression in life. For some people, it's working out. For some people, it's cooking. For some people, it's organizing. For me, it's getting my hands covered in paint and ink and everything else and just always being a creative outlet for me. It's therapeutic. Yeah. For me, the future of my art is an unwritten or unpainted canvas. I don't at this point, I don't know. I've just always created. I've never thought about where to go or what to do. I think the last time I showed was late teens, early 20s at Witter Gallery in Storm Lake. Like, it was so long ago. And I didn't think I'd ever have the opportunity to do another one. I hope that it does two things. I hope that it's thought-provoking, and I hope it also creates an emotional response. That when they leave, they're like, I remember that piece. No matter, just any random time, if they say, oh, that reminds me of something I saw, or whatever, yeah, just that it's something that stays with them. Yeah.
To support our workshops and help us create opportunities for you to transform through art, join our Yes Kindness campaign by donating at yeskindness.org/donate.